Hello and welcome to Arsenal Unabridged. I'm your host Fen, and today we're going to begin our unabridged journey through the Arsenal of the Tenno as we take a look at the Sicarus. Now, the Sicarus is most certainly a starter weapon. It is unremarkable to say the least. You can't even spend plat on this thing to buy it. You have to spend credits. And let this be a warning, if the devs don't try to get money out of you for it, then you should understand that it is, in fact, effectively worthless. For some reason, it's currently set as MR3 for its mastery lock. It's a burst pistol, it's not silent, it has a reasonable fire rate, and for being so low tier, it has decent damage. The damage kind of sucks because it's entirely impact almost, which is objectively the worst damage type in game. The weapon also has absurd recoils, so just throw this thing away already. But wait, there's more. This weapon is such hot garbage that the Riven disposition was set to 5. And in case you don't know what the significance of this is, the developers elected to make less popular weapons more worth selecting, even though they don't adhere to this system anymore. And they did this by making the Rivens more powerful for these less popular ones, so that the stats on the Rivens will be far greater on the Sicarus, which is terribly unpopular, than it would, say, on the Soma, which is incredibly popular. The bonuses on a max disposition Riven can be over 4 times as powerful than the Riven of a minimum disposition. So, am I saying that this makes the Sicarus worth it? No, it doesn't. Oh, it's so bad. It's really bad. But where this does come into play is with the Prime variant. At the time this video was recorded, it was around 15 to 16 months after the Sicarus Prime received an enormous buff. And you see, the Prime variant was also hot garbage, just like the normal one, only you actually had to farm for it and stuff like that. But then, I heard this weapon was going to be receiving a buff, and immediately, I went out and I got a Riven for it. And I got the parts as soon as I could manage. I built it, and what I found was astonishing. The Sicarus Prime has 4 times the status chance at 20%. It has 25% critical chance. It has higher base damage, which is better distributed among the IPS spread. It has a good fire rate and a large magazine. Now last time, we discussed some scenarios where scaling should not even enter the equation in terms of a loadout, because it's not always necessary, and more importantly, it's not always optimal for a scenario, as it focuses on being able to perform a task that certain missions may never need. Now sure, I get the notion of the power fantasy, but let's be real. Do you really need to bring an EV Trinity, for example, to a solo exterminate? Think about how slow that's going to make things progress, if you actually even use your kit. The use of such a kit is painfully slow, and it's more suited towards squad synergy anyway, like supercharging a squad mate's MAME ability. But some scenarios really do need you to be capable of scaling, and even if they're few and far between, most of this game is simply balanced around the star chart, seriously, with the upper echelon being sortie level content. Some would imply that raids are the highest echelon, but when you can have double the squad size available, you really don't need to be capable of scaling as much, especially with how aura combinations will provide you with significant bonuses that you wouldn't have any other time in game. Now, some of us may not like to admit it, as fun as it is running up against the most dangerous enemy, a level 15,000 ex-girlfriend, there is really never going to be any point to it, with the only real exceptions being special events like Ambulus Reborn and pissing contests beyond that, which tend to attract the most obnoxious and toxic players you can find. Not always, but I mean, come on. At the end of the day, it's just a different form of elitism, despite the fact that the best way to scale infinitely involves just a boatload of power spamming crutch tactics or monotonous power combinations that last for several hours. But of course, that's just the most extreme example, and not representative of everybody that plays that long. There's the disclaimer, okay? There you go. Now, when it comes to the star chart, we should acknowledge that it's not all that difficult to scale as far as you need. You don't need any radical combinations to make that happen, but the Sicarus Prime does happen to be among the best. Overall, this weapon has drastically improved to the point that it's become a fantastic critical weapon, a fantastic status weapon, a fantastic hybrid weapon. You can use this weapon in any direction that you would like. It will perform well against any faction in-game. This weapon is in such a good place right now that it shreds any content in game, regardless of what you are facing off against. It scales for days, and I usually have to make a conscious effort to not equip it so that I could enjoy some other things every now and then. So would I recommend it? Absolutely. And you know what? It's available for farming right fucking now. So get out there, get to the plains, which are buggy as fuck, and go ahead and just figure something out. But that is it for today, Tenno. If you like what I do here, hit the like button. If you're new here, go ahead and hit subscribe for more Warframe content. If you just can't wait to get my next video, you want that instant gratification, hit the little bell. I hear it does things. But until next time, this is Finn, signing off.